Hey y'all, Chris Bassett here, and I'll be doing a tutorial on how to solo the Legend Lost Sector, Bunker E15. I'll be playing on my Hunter. Let's get into it. The Lost Sector is located on Europa near the top of the map. If you don't see it, there's a few stipulations first. You have to be at least 1500 light. You have to have completed the Lost Sector at least once on normal mode. Legend Lost Sectors are on a rotation, so it has to be that day that it's the Lost Sector's legendary day. I'll put a link down in the description for a calendar as to what days are legendary. Let's go over the class setup. Shadow Shot Mobius Quiver is going to be your highest damage super. I'll be using Gambler's Dodge, that way I can dodge near an enemy to recharge my melee attack. I'll use the Vortex Grenade to weaken enemies. Trapper's Ambush, that way I can slam with my melee attack to go invisible and weaken enemies. Echo of Persistence, so invisibility lasts longer. Undermining, that way my grenades weaken targets, and then Obscurity, that way finishers, I become invisible. So after you land in Eventide Ruins on Europa, the Lost Sector will be directly behind you. So just go ahead and turn around and start heading that way. In this Lost Sector, we're going to be dealing with Overload and Anti-Barrier champions. So the seasonal artifact means we've got 4 ways to deal with them. We've got Overload Bow, Anti-Barrier Scout Rifle, Anti-Barrier Auto Rifle, and Overload Machine Gun. If you haven't completed the Lost Sector on normal mode, this is the path you head down. Just keep going down and twisting around until you get down to where the load screen changes. It'll say Lost Sector Discovered. Complete it on normal, and then you'll have access to the legendary version. Once you have access to the legendary version, you can find it right here on this beacon. Always pay attention to the elemental burn. That'll help do extra damage. So today's burn is Void. Try to use a Void subclass, Void weapons, and then Void resist mods into your chest armor. In this first room, we're looking for the Overload Captain. So I'm going to slam to the ground, Invisible Smoke Bomb to weaken everybody, and then try to focus that Captain down first. I'm using the Thunderlord exotic machine gun. It has built-in intrinsic overload rounds. It's free for everyone right now. Just stop into the helm and pick up your exotic weapon. I like to kill all the additional enemies in this room before moving on, but if you're speedrunning, you don't really need to once you kill the captain. I'm using the Funnel Web submachine gun. It's one of the best Void submachine guns right now for Void 3.0, and it's available to all Guardians as it's a world drop. As we come up to this next area, I like to slam down, stun all the enemies, and then kill all the Vex. To proceed to the next room, you need to shoot that cube to take down the barrier. It also releases a couple of AI helpers that help in the final boss room by shooting enemies. There's a Minotaur in the back of the room, so dispatch him quickly. Use Void damage to take down his Void shield. In some encounters, if you don't have the appropriate elemental weapon to deal with the right shield, it can be really difficult to take down shields. So, Void weapon for Void shield, Solar weapon for Solar shield, Arc weapon for Arc shield. In this next room, I like to start off by doing a slam to all these Vex, dodge to gain my melee back, and then go ahead and take them all out. Watch out for those pools of electric goo on the floors. That'll kill you pretty quick. There's a few enemy locations you want to be mindful of. In the upper left-hand corner, there is a ranged hobgoblin, so try to take care of him pretty quick. I just jump up there, get in his face, and then kill him. And then from this position, you have the high ground. When you kill enough of the adds, a Vex eye turret spawns in. I use my grenade on him to weaken him to kill him real quick. The eye blast will one-shot you because it's Void burn, so try to take care of this guy and kill it as quick as possible. The other 2 dangerous enemies to worry about is there's a Void shielded Minotaur, and then there's also an anti-barrier hobgoblin. If you break the Void shield with Void damage, it'll stun that Minotaur, making him that much easier to kill. In most of the runs I did, the enemies would kind of come to me in this higher position, so I could just stand up here and clear out all the adds. Sometimes you'll have to jump down and search them out, but here you see I pull out my scout rifle to take down the barrier. If that anti-barrier champion puts that bubble up, he'll regenerate health, so make sure you pop that bubble as soon as possible. I like to go down and search out the heavy ammo bricks. I'm running a heavy ammo scavenger on my helmet and feet. These detainment fields are around the room. If you shoot the squares, it'll release the field, and then more AI combatants will help join the fight. So here's the final boss room. The boss spawns after you kill the wyvern in the back of the room. I like to swing around to the left and take out all the ads. Be mindful of the blue goo on the floor. It'll kill you pretty quick. And then, just dip in and out of cover. What they say is, use the 40-60 rule. So 40% of your body should be exposed, while 60% is hidden behind cover. I've only had a few runs where the wyvern will actually aggressively chase me. So you can head glitch this spot, and there he is with those feather arms or whatever that is. But he'll kill you with 1 or 2 shots, so be careful. I use a grenade to weaken it, and then I can take it down pretty quick. Once the ads are dead, the room will kind of glow orange, and that's how you know the boss is spawning in. If you fall back to where you entered, is a pretty safe area to fight from. The boss health bar has 3 individual bricks inside of the total life. Each time that you defeat 1/3, a new wave of ads spawns in along with an overload minotaur. Enemies will push up and try to get you, so just go ahead and fall back even further if they start to overwhelm you. As you start to damage the boss, he will occasionally teleport around the room. Usually it's to the lower left side of the arena. This is where your invisibility comes in handy. That way he doesn't overpower you and kill you very quickly. You can go invisible, shake the aggro, and then reposition. Use your super to rapidly lower the boss's health, but keep in mind the boss has 3 invincibility barriers that rotate around it clockwise. You need to shoot in between those barriers in order to damage the boss. Keep in mind to keep your distance, as being up close, the splash damage from the shots can actually end up killing you. You do have limited revives, and each time you kill a champion, whether that's the overload or the barrier, you gain 1 more revive. In order to get the best rewards possible, you need to kill all the champions. The legendary version of this Lost Sector has a 25% chance to drop an exotic armor, while the master version has a 33% chance. So the difference in difficulty, you're looking at, you're getting a exotic drop 1 in every 4 times with the legend version, and 1 in every 3 times with the master version. However, the randomization of the drops, you could go 10 runs without a drop. I think I did 12 runs on this, and I had 2 exotic feat armor drop, but then I also had 2 exotic engrams drop. They were both helmets, so that was funny. But yeah, my opinion, I would rather speedrun the legend version in 5 to 7 minutes as opposed to, slugging it out in the master version. So here I'm just running my cooldowns on invisibility, going back and forth while doing a little bit of damage to the boss, trying to tick him down and not die again. I'm going to chip down that health bar to the last third, and then you know that the wave of ads is going to spawn in, so you're going to have a minotaur to deal with. So you can pull back to that safe space and then deal with all the enemies from in there. Don't forget that if you're looking for a particular stat spike on the armors, to equip that mod to your ghost shell, and that'll guarantee at least a 10, if not a 20, to that spike. I want to spike my discipline, that way I have a faster grenade recharge. Also, with the updates to how the stats now work, your stats are divided into 2 sections. The top 3, mobility, resilience, and recovery, is 1 block, and then the bottom 3, discipline, intellect, and strength, is another block. So by spiking your discipline, it gives a lot of points to that, and then reducing your intellect and your strength, which I don't really want to focus on, but I want to focus on the top 3. I want high mobility, recovery, and resilience. So by focusing on the bottom brick, gives a larger chance to have higher stats in those top 3. Hey, check out this other video right here. Use my Amazon link down in the description to save money on electronics. Help out the channel at no cost to you. If you have any questions, put it in the comments. Thanks.